talk to me or get somebody that knows how to help me out with this. Okay. The basic things about angles you need to know in order to measure and to make them, which is what we're talking about today, is please make sure that a right angle, I can't remember if we talked about this on the last time here. If it's a square corner, that is 90 degrees. That is a right angle. Okay. If it is smaller than a right angle, we call that an acute angle. And again, I'm going to use a little mathematical jargon here. If it's less than 90 degrees, I'm going to use the less than sign, which is this. Less than. This isn't an angle sign. This is a less than 90 degrees. Yeah. And if it's bigger than 90 degrees, or greater than, I guess I should say, greater than 90 degrees, then that's an obtuse angle. Okay, are you with me on that? Because we are going to measure and make angles, you need to understand that if you see an angle that looks like this, and you had to guess how many degrees that is, your guess would be about what? Sam Poppin? My guess for that angle would be about what?
Let's say 120.
Okay, I'll go for 120, as long as it's more than 90 degrees, because it has to be bigger than 90 degrees, because a right angle would be somewhere up here like this. Okay, and the same thing for an angle like this. If I see an angle that looks like that, and I ask you to guess how big it is, Caroline, a guess. It's only a guess. You can't be wrong unless you say, okay, 40 degrees. Because what happens is last year, I saw people, we had an angle like this we were supposed to measure, and somebody put 45 degrees. Actually, a good number of people put 45. That's impossible. That can't be 45 degrees because it has to be 90 degrees or bigger, right? It's obtuse. Perfect. So, now, you got your little protractors there? Like I said, we're going to speed this along because I'm not spending forever. I got a worksheet here. Or a sheet. We're going to measure some angles. It is a different one than last year, so those of you that thought. Let's go with this one here. And the first thing I want you to do. I guess I'll give you both of them. Once we put together. The first thing I want you to do when I give you this piece of paper is I want you to I want you to write on angles 1 through 10 whether those angles are obtuse or acute. Because that's the first thing when you see an angle you should think of. If somebody calls you obtuse, are they giving you a compliment or not? Kendall, is that a compliment or not? Why not? If you use the word obtuse to describe somebody, what would you say that means they are? I wouldn't say it's a comment on their body structure. If I were using the word obtuse to describe somebody, I would think that would be something about their dents. In other words, they don't really get some stuff. That would be my take on that. Now I hope this works. Oh yes. Okay, so jot your whatever things down there, whether you think they're acute or obtuse. Okay, and then the second thing I want you to do is, I would very much like for you to do this. This does not work. Your protractors do not work. Your protractors do not work if the angle that you're measuring doesn't go through the sides of your protractor. So I need for you, step number 1, I need you to extend the sides. on all of them. In other words, take your protractor, lay the flat edge on the thing and make the lines longer. So do this, extend this thing way out here, extend the other one way up here so that we got something to work with. Please. Otherwise, your protractors don't work quite that well. I'll give you a second to do that. Please extend all those lines there, Ashley. We'll get to the measuring part in just a second. Extend all of the lines. Actually, use your protractor and your straight edge to make them longer. Measuring. Everybody got them extended there? You can't just freehand them, Holly. You have to use the sides of the protractor that are here. See how your line is up here? Make a nice straight line and you just continue the line. This isn't freehanding. You cannot freehand a straight line, kids. I know. I've tried. Doesn't work. Good. No, he's not there. Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. I forgot you're the pixie stick person. All right, you can stop there and follow along with me, please. Are you ready? Okay. Please understand, ladies and gentlemen, that you can measure this angle in two different ways. You can put your protractor on here in a couple different places and it'll still work. Okay? But step number one is you need to put the vertex of the angle in the little hole of your protractor, or whatever you have. Every protractor is a little different. That means this little hole on your protractor has to go to the vertex somewhere over here. So I'm going to slide my protractor over, put the little hole in there. You with me? I know some of you got this already. Okay. Then you need to, step number 2, you need to line up the line of your protractor with one of the rays. And that, on mine it already is here, I'll move it a little so you can see it. In other words, through the hole of your protractor, and again everybody's different, you will have a line that goes out here to a 180-degree mark that goes to the hole. Sometimes they stop and they're only this long or they're that long. You need to take that line and adjust it so that not only is the vertex in the hole, but the line of the angle is right on top of that thing there. Okay? Now, again, I said you could, children, where's my rotate button? You see the rotate button?
No.
There it is. I could switch and turn this thing this way and line up the other side. It'll still work. Vertex still in the hole. But I could line this other side of the protractor up with this. As long as both legs go through my protractor, it's going to work. I could not do this. This would not work. Uh-oh. I could not spin this all the way around. Oh, that's not going to be good. sorry. I could not spin this all the way around. Oh, no, I won't spin. Anybody? I won't spin. Okay, I can't put my protractor on there, even though the vertex is there and the line's there, because the line doesn't go through the protractor. Okay, so you gotta just kind of use a little common sense. Which one should I go here, right? Gotta come down a little. And mine's not gonna be as accurate as yours. Now, then once you get all that lined up, you just look to see where the line goes through your protractor, and here's where common sense dictates, children. You get two choices for answers, because you'll see on your protractor here's 100 and then there's an 80 underneath of it. Okay, you gotta pick whichever one makes sense. Since this is a acute angle, it has to be the one that's less than 90 degrees. So you're gonna use the 80 measuring part. The 80 scale is the one that you want. And it's between 80 degrees and 90 degrees. To me, it looks like mine, 81, maybe 82 degrees. Maybe I'm a little off on that. Maybe it's right at 80 degrees. What did you end up with?
80.
Okay. So there is 80 degrees, and it makes sense. If you have 100 degrees, you're using the wrong measurement. It is 80 degrees. Let's jump down to problem number. You have a big one down here somewhere? Go to problem number 3. Now problem number 3 might be one where I turn my protractor around a little bit, and I put the protractor on this one so this line actually goes through my thing there. I might spin it and actually set it on here like this. If I can get it to go here. Line up my thing, my vertex in that angle. Spin it like this a little bit. I probably need to adjust my angle a little. Extend my line. And you get for problem number, which one is that? 3. What do we get for degrees of number 3? And again, you can't have something less than 90 degrees because there's no way that's possible. Alex?
110.
110 looks like a winner to me. Chicken dinner. Go ahead and measure the rest of those, please. If you're struggling or need help, please let me know and I will do my best. I don't know how you measure this one. Show me how that went through your protractor. Well, how does that one go through your protractor? Anything you can say is you're just guessing. Guessing, generally speaking, children, is not the best approach in that. By the way, are much quicker than last year. Compliment, I don't know if that is or not. If you got that, then go ahead and see if you can't draw these angles here. Because if you've already got it, there's no point in me going over it. No, you don't have to really extend the lines on the second page. Because you can always put your protractor on there and get it. Alright, stop right there for a second. If you don't remember how to draw angles, here's your refresher course. It's really kind of the same kind of gizmo deal. You don't really need to extend any of the lines, okay? The same thing is true. The first step is you line up the little vertex hole with the vertex of your angle. So I slide this over. Wait a second, I gotta do this. Hold on. Okay, I line this up, put my vertex and line up my lines. And if I want this, I guess I can only get so close, sorry kids. If I want this to be 120 degrees, here's the thought. If I look at my protractor, unfortunately, there are two 120 degrees on my protractor. I either have this 120 degrees or I have this 120 degrees, but only one of them is going to make it an obtuse angle. Which one makes it the obtuse angle? Somebody help me out there, Zach Rice?
The one to the left.
Exactly. So what you do is you know it's going to be 120 degrees. You just make a mark there. Again, this is not a freehand exercise. You just put a mark there, okay? Then, from that mark, get your protractor out of there, spin it around, lay the flat edge on that mark, and then you start from here to here and you draw your straight line. And that will be your 120 degrees. But you couldn't use the other 120 degrees because you're actually making a 60-degree angle. Got it? To give you a chance to do a couple of them, and then we will see. Draw me an angle or two here. You know. 120. Mine are quickly learned. As I don't really see the 120 would